Hey, all. Glad you could join me again. I'm talking tonight because I was inspired by what I consider to be probably one of the worst movies that I have seen in a long time. And the rest of the world seems to think that it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm talking about the movie Whiplash. And the one reason why I'm so familiar with it is because Whiplash was written by Hank Levy, and I played Whiplash years ago in the 70s under the direction of Hank Levy when I was in the Towson State University Jazz Ensemble. Back then it was called the Towson State Jazz Ensemble. Now it's the Towson University Jazz Ensemble because the school has gotten bigger. But let me tell you the one thing that was so cool about playing with Hank and the band. We were known as the odd meter band. And this is why I wanted to talk to you tonight about odd meters. Now, I'm not talking about compound meters or multiple meters. That I'm talking about odd meters. As I was just demonstrating, the piece that I was playing is in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And so on. And if you remember one of the shots in Whiplash in the opening, it said it was in 14/8. And really that kind of translates to 7/4. But the one thing that you have to consider about odd meter playing and odd meter tunes, Hank always used to tell us that the only reason why playing in odd meter is difficult for most people is because you don't usually play an odd meter. It's been 4/4 or common time for ages, and even back in the waltz days, it was 3/4, which it could be considered an odd meter in itself. But 3/4 and 4/4 have been around for so long that people forget there is a 5/4, 7/4, 14/8. These type pieces, for the most part, can be very easily understood if you understand the true concept of something that's written in odd meter. Hank used to say to us, no matter what time signature it's in, it has to swing. Now, his meaning of swing wasn't necessarily the jazz, that kind of swing. It just meant that it had to feel good. And sometimes the brain used to get in the way of trying to count that 7/4 or 14/8. And by the way, in the movie Whiplash, and for one thing, when they played that tune, I'm sorry, it was way too fast. We never played it at that tempo, and we were really good players. And by the way, I have to tell you, I didn't play drums with Hank, to be honest with you. I ended up being a conga player, Latin percussionist. But that gave me the chance to really analyze some of the complex tunes that we were doing and be able to make the Latin parts or the conga parts feel really good with that. So, but let me just explain the concept of what happens in an odd meter tune. On Hank's level, he used to say to us, no matter what, it has to feel good. And he used to write some really complicated kind of stuff. But the reason why it always felt good to us, and believe me, sometimes it took a lot of work, was because he said, don't think of it in the odd meter sense, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. He said, don't think of it that way. He always used to say 7, 4, 5, 4, any of the odd meters are just a series of groupings of 2s and 3s. If you can count things in groups of 2 or groups of 3 in those little segments, you're going to be finding out that you can make it feel pretty good. One of my favorites was 7/4. Now, I just got done playing in 5/4, but let me show you what happens in 7/4. If you were to count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, it just kind of blows your mind because you got to keep counting and counting and feel like a math major. But if you count it as 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, because the first 2, 1, 2, I count as 1. The second 2 is 3 and 4, I really count as 2. And then the 3 at the end comes out to be like 1.5 times that. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. If you think of it like that, it's almost like being in 4/4. It's just that you're leaving one beat off. 1, 2, 3, and 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 1. Consequently, it doesn't feel as strange when you break it up into these little sections. And if you can do that, and let's face it, any kind of odd meter can be broken up into those little sections. We used to have tunes that were in, one of my favorites was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Break it up into like little groups. 1 and 2, 3. It makes it more mentally doable and countable rather than having to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8. You know, those kinds of things are just like, stop it thinking up here, much less stop it playing down here. So when you're thinking about odd meter, rather than go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, rather than do that, break it up just like you were counting 4 into little groups of 2s and 3s. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. And I think that your playing will make it feel better. I think your head will not be so turned around by complex odd meters. And for the most part, if you can make the tune swing, according to what Hank used to say, feel good, then you're at the level where everybody's music is going to feel good, odd or not. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you again soon.